Again, like I said, everything's going to seem to be Corona related, but it's still funny and it's still somewhat of a distraction. So, Emergen-C, which is a cold remedy, responds to boozy quarantini with vitamin C. Quote, we do not recommend. This is a Fox News article.
What is a quarantini?
Well, we're going to get right to it. So I actually saw this when this was happening. This Marilyn Starkloff, who, by the way, I did click on her link when this happened. I saw this when she posted it, within minutes of her posting it. She's actually listed as a pediatric nurse, interestingly enough. But anyway, she said, time for a quarantini. And here you can see what a quarantini is. It is, I assume gin with the Emergen-C vitamin C supplement.
Oh yeah, aviation American gin, it says.
Yep, and mixed with Emergen-C, 1,000 milligram vitamin C. And I actually thought this was pretty clever, and it gave me a good chuckle. But apparently, Emergen-C is not laughing. They don't like it. Says on Twitter, a woman shared an image of her quarantini-inspired drink, mixing gin and Emergen-C. Unfortunately, the makers of the powdered vitamin supplement don't think it's a good idea. I don't see why not.
We do not recommend taking any of our products with alcohol. What a bunch of killjoys!
Exactly.
I'm allergic to gin, so I think it's a good idea. No quarantinis.
No quarantinis?
Maybe they can do sort of a quarantine old-fashioned or something. Just add that.
I like that. Yeah, quarantine old-fashioned. Doesn't have the same ring to it, though, as the quarantini. I think that was actually rather clever.
Yeah. Well, anything in a martini glass is a martini now, so I suppose we can get creative.
They added, though, quote, if you're feeling fine and of legal drinking age, a little extra vitamin C consumption doesn't hurt. So they kind of tried to have it both ways. So, they definitely tried to have it both ways. I will say this. I am going to be talking seriously about Corona in my segment later, but I will say this. Vitamin C in general doesn't hurt you if you, quote unquote, take too much, because it doesn't really build up in the body. There are some studies that say that it can cause things like kidney stones and things like that. But in all seriousness, what a lot of people are talking about with Corona is actually vitamin D. The vitamin D is helpful because vitamin D is helpful for respiratory infections. But vitamin D does build up in the body. So don't be going out there and chucking a bunch of vitamin D. Whereas vitamin C has very minimal cumulative effects on the body. Like I said, I guess there are some studies that say it causes kidney stones. But in general, more vitamin C doesn't really hurt you. Vitamin D will. So you got to be careful with vitamin D. But vitamin D is actually something they're looking at as far as something that does have benefits. And it would have been nice if they put something like that in this article, but they didn't. And that's why this is a daily distraction.
I see. So vitamin D is the one you get from sunlight, right?
Correct. So, and also people, should be aware that lighter skinned people have an advantage because they actually produce vitamin D better than people with darker skin. In fact, there's a theory. Yeah, there's a theory that is the reason that people that, generally live up north have white skin, that it was an adaptation because they had less sunlight. They needed to produce vitamin D in better quantities and more efficiently. That's the adaptive change, because the theory, of course, is that humanity started in Africa, and migrated outward. So, yeah, it's an interesting theory, and it makes a lot of sense actually when you think about it, because, like I said, lighter skinned people do produce vitamin D better than darker skinned people. But again, as I mentioned, it would have been nice if they mentioned something like this in this article, because it would be a good education moment, if you will. And no such mention. They just kind of go with a little joke and all that, and have their little tongue in cheek and back and forth with this little post that someone did. But quite frankly, I don't think that there's any harm in this. I'll say that. If you are a drinker, might as well throw some vitamin C into your drink.
Does the alcohol in any way counteract the effects of the vitamin C?
Well, they do say that alcohol impairs your immune system. in all seriousness. That they do say that alcohol impairs your immune system. But a drink or two, I don't think is going to hurt you. You know, I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be. I don't even claim to play one on TV. But I do. I will say that, everything I've heard is said that yes, consumption of alcohol can absolutely impair your immune system. But I don't think having a drink. And let's be honest, people are going to drink. So if you're going to drink, why not put some vitamin C in it? So people are not going to stop drinking. In fact, some people are probably going to drink a little bit more than they normally do. Oh, we do have a comment, and let's share it here. This is from Janet R. Hanelman. I'm sorry, Janet, if I butchered your last name. And this is from the Facebook. It says, just lighten up, folks. Unknot your knickers. Janet, I agree with you. Although I do think that they had some fun with it, with the Emergen-C company. They had some fun with it and mentioned, hey, yeah, having some vitamin C with your alcohol is not necessarily a bad thing. So,
all right.